you.
Thank you, Nana. Yeah, I saw a hand there, then I can move on. Yes, that's our brothers.
I just wanted to mention, because we are on taxes.
Okay.
Well, of course, Nana has mentioned that maybe we should move from there, but it's because during the budget statement, for instance, the president read that now there's going to be tax haven for people under 35. So we do a lot of trainings, for instance, founders who are under 35. And so I walk into GRA trying to find out if someone is under 35, how can they benefit from this tax incentive?
All right. So, okay.
And two months after the announcement, nothing is happening. So the guy sitting down in GRA has no idea what's happening.
Okay. Yeah, usually the budget statement is only a proposal. They must table a bill that can be passed into an act to bring into effect these things. So immediately after a budget, a month or two, if you went into GRA, you are most likely not going to say it can either be a tax reduction, it can be any other form of taxes. So let's assume that a bill has been introduced. When the president spoke about young people getting tax exemption for being in business, is to promote entrepreneurship. But that does not mean it covers all the forms of taxes. It will only affect corporate taxes. Now, being a young person in business, we are not going to tax you for you to plow back your profit to grow, to employ other young people. But that does not mean that if you are paying me as a consultant, you don't withhold tax. That does not mean that if you are paying an employee, you don't withhold the pay as you earn. So the only tax that will come as a result of that law will be the fact that you as an individual or a company you set, your corporate tax will be exempt because you are a young person. But the other forms of taxes will still be there. That is any time it gets into effect. So let me move on now so I can talk about it. Yes. 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 Yes.
When you go to DR,
yes.
there are a lot of withholding certificates lying down there. Plenty people don't go.
Are you working at GRA?
No,
I'm coming. So sometimes I'm coming. These are the things we hear and say. When you go to GRA and they are withholding taxes down there, that's not mean it's for people. It may be for people who are coming to file their taxes.
Say, I'm coming.
Wait.
Okay.
The moment you pay withholding tax, you must collect the receipt immediately. So you don't come back. In the past, is when so I want to see that things have changed. So let's not be compounding.
No, what I'm saying is that from where I took over before, I was once working with Trasaco Furniture.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Before I came in, or when I came in,
yes.
I realized that there were a lot of certificates which have been what?
In which branch?
Pardon me?
In which branch of the GRA?
Yeah, here.
Where?
Yeah, this one was name Medina. So many years. What I'm saying is that for the benefit. Sir, let me finish.
It's an allegation.
No, let me finish. So what I'm saying is that
yeah.
we the one who the employer or the employer,
yes.
we allow people to withhold or withhold our money, which we don't trace the certificate from what? The GRA. But in the normal sense, we can use that certificate to reduce our cost burden. That's what I wanted to say. That's all.
But I still have doubt as to telling me that withholding taxes are lying in GRA.
Yes, it is true. Sir, I'm coming.
No. We are educating ourselves. Once you go and pay, make sure you collect the receipt immediately. If you go to GRA and their system is down, don't pay their check. No, I'm coming. I'm teaching you what you must do. Hello, I'm teaching you because the withholding tax is not for GRA, it's for you. So if you went to any GRA office, going to pay the withholding tax, and they are telling you they cannot print the certificate, let them tell you when the system will be ready to print. So that you can always have in your hand what is rightfully yours. Their own is a check, and your evidence is the receipt. So why do you leave the receipt in there? So that we don't go back assuming that it's a norm. It should not be a norm. Right? I beg you, let me move on now. Once it's on tax, let me move on now. Okay, yes, that's it.
Sir, please, mine is on how do I know I qualify for refund? That is what I read.
So how to know is usually through filing your taxes. Any ethical taxman working on your file is not in to dupe you in. He'll do the right thing and to tell whether you deserve a refund or not. Or if you want to do it, then hello. If you want to do it, then you get an expert. So if you are not, let's say a tax expert or an accountant, get your accountant to do that for you. But when your accountant does it, it's not the end. Because you bring it to GRA and they also do their own assessment. They may even come and visit you and be sure that the documentations are there. But most of us, most times, don't even keep the proper documentations. So the fact that your accountant has written that TNT is 10,000. When the GRA comes, he's looking for invoices and receipts that show that the TNT is 10. There you are with only about 2,000 amount of, let's say, invoices. So the taxman will find it very difficult approving the 8,000. So when you're doing business, do it where documents are kept well, right? So that's how life becomes easier on your part. All right. So I'm moving on to talk about other permits. When I control tax, it will never end. Right. So you need to also get permit from the assembly you are working in, depending on the business you are doing. So you may get a business operating permit from your locality. Those of you in the food industry will get a health certificate permit. And then if you have a driver, you may also require a commercial driver. So those of you who are using, let's say, Kia and all that, the assemblies are hard on these things. So you don't want your business to be in trouble. Then there may be other sort of permits as well, including your professional body. So you may have lawyers here, accountants here, doctors here. You are running a business, but your profession you are in requires that you obtain a practicing certificate. Again, in the new tax laws we have, your professional body is not supposed to give you a practicing certificate. This time, not without a thing, but this time without a tax clearance certificate. Hello? Your professional body, ACCA, CA Ghana Law School, Ghana Bar Association, and all that, are not supposed to renew your practicing certificate if you don't produce a tax clearance certificate, not a thing. Because you cannot be a professional. So I suspect even for the journalists in here, your Ghana Journalists Association should not give you that permit. If you do that, means you must file your taxes in full and pay all your taxes for GRA to issue you with a tax clearance certificate. And the tax clearance certificate, you can obtain it if you show your TIN. So those of us who are professionals must realize that our country is also changing. And so any professional body issuing you with a practice certificate without a TCC is doing something really against the law. So these are other permits that may be required. I think I've spoken about the tax obligations as well. So let's make sure we pay our taxes on the due dates, whilst we also try and address all the bottlenecks. And withhold taxes. If you fail to withhold taxes as required by law, you'll be held personally liable. And that is how some of you will build up tax liabilities without knowing. So I offer you a service. The law says you must withhold 7.5. So our sister was talking about the law exists and we are not educated. I agree. But we also have a responsibility to ourselves. That when we are working, we know the laws that affect our business, and we are taking time to buy those laws, and we have read them. So even though the education is good, if it's not even there, it's not an excuse. We must run a business in a way. That's how come you may have to get a professional who occasionally may come and advise you, oh, the business you are doing require these items. Or you get, let's say some sort of an accounting profession or a training, and you get to know. So when you don't withhold the taxes, the law says you are personally liable. And so when the tax man is assessing you, and that's what the GRA does, and I'm happy I'm here. We know that all of you will by all means say you are making a loss. And it's only a Ghanaian who have made loss for 10 years who is still in business. because if I'm making loss, if I'm making a loss of 10% every year, it means in 10 years your capital is gone. And so the Ghanaian is blessed by God to still be in business after 10 years. So the taxman knows that after a corporate tax party, Ghana knew one in tender. So what they are doing is that when you now submit your accounts, they are looking at the payment you have done. I'm telling you what is done at GRA. When you now submit your account, they don't look at the profit because so they go to your they go to your admin and general expenses, and they begin to say, okay, professional expense, repairs and maintenance. Then they will impose withholding taxes on them. At least when you're withholding tax, they go to your wages and salary and impose tax there. And this may be a tax that you are paying when the person has taken the money away. And the person may not even come back for another business to recoup. So I'm only advising you that now that you know that's what they are doing, then when you're also doing the payment, know the withholding tax rate and deduct before you pay. So by the time you go to GRA, your tax credit certificate, what the gentleman says is lying on the floor. You have all of them. So you don't pay a peswa of a tax. That is the trend. And so you want to have your life made easy on your part, right? So we hold VAT 2 is there to be done, and you must learn to file your taxes. You must learn to file. Look at where we are going. And these days, the GRA won't do it even online. So GRA in their portal, www.gra.gov.gh, you can begin to file some of these things online. So once you file, you can be assessed. Finally, you pay your tax and off you go. So then, there are also occupational professional licenses. I think I've spoken about it already. So for some of these businesses you are in, if you're a member, make sure that you get your pricing certificate before you start. There may also even be an environmental permit as well. EPA or mother body will require, the mining commission will require that you get them. Then some of you may even need some sort of a license or permit for your product. Ghana Standard Board does so you can market your products out there. So look at how best these things affect you and be able to obtain them. So this ends my topic on licenses, permits, and business name. And taxes now at the back. Well.
Okay. Can I ask a question, please?
Please do.
Yes. Okay. With the licenses,
Yes.
there's also sometimes you are addressing us, so you usually tell us what we are supposed to do.
Okay.
But I also bring this up so that maybe through the advocacy,
they
would also address the other side, because
Okay.
it's not one-sided.
Right.
If you want a license, like GSA,
All right.
you are into food production, and you have to get a license to put your things on the market. You go and you apply. There's supposed to be a period within which, sometimes 2 years, 3 years, you haven't got the license. How do you expect business people like us, or somebody who want to start up, to be able to go on to the next level?
I agree.
So we need some of these things to be streamlined, and not just streamlined, to be expedited. We must have at least the passport. I know the passport is kind of working with the application of passport, so that if you want it express, we should do the same to all the licenses. That's where in between people are able to take extra monies. And I don't know whether the 10 will apply in those areas as well. They might as well do it quickly so that we can, yeah. Thank you.
We talk about private sector development, and we still have all the impediments, making life difficult. If the person brought his product for